Look at the slides from a lecture given on a media course. You are going to hear part of a talk about media bias. Number the slides in the order the speaker talks about them.
So, moving on. What exactly is bias? First of all, let's look at bias by omission. This means leaving something out. For example, a fact or a quote which maybe doesn't support the writer's point of view. Let's look at some examples. Imagine Heba over here every morning checks the same website to read the news. She likes the way the articles are written and feels that she is getting good information. But one day, her friend, Mawar, over here, recommends a different news site. When Heba looks at this, she sees completely different news stories with a very different point of view. Let's say that on Heba's website, there is a big story about how angry people are that a local factory is about to close. Mawar's website has the same story, but it doesn't mention that anyone is angry. The writer has omitted this information to make us feel differently about the story. The second type of bias might be placement. On Heba's website, the story is at the top of the page, with a big photo and large text. This gives the impression that it is an important story. But on Mawar's website, the story is very short on the third page and very low down on the page where people might not see it. The third type of bias is spin. The writer tries to make the reader feel the same way they do about a topic and doesn't present a balanced point of view. They do this by choosing certain words. For example, argued the factory manager instead of agreed the factory manager. Secondly, they choose to include certain information and leave other information out. Thirdly, they give only one point of view. In our example, the journalist gives the reaction of the staff in the factory, but not the managers. It misleads the reader into thinking it is a bad thing. On the other hand, in Mawar's story, it is presented as a good thing. It mentions that there is a lot of pollution caused by the factory. The journalist in this case is trying to get...
2. A bias by placement. Position of the article on the page. The stories at the top of the page are the ones which the editor wants to show as most important. 1. B. Bias by omission. Leaving out certain stories, leaving out facts or certain information which does not agree with the writer's point of view. 3. C. Bias by spin. Choosing examples or data which support one side, presenting an opinion as a fact. Using emotional language to persuade the reader.
Listen to the conversation and answer the questions.
Mum, Soha has broken the computer. It's not working.
I didn't break it, Manal.
But you used it last.
Yes, but it was already broken when I tried to use it.
Sorry, girls. I forgot to say that it broke yesterday.
That computer is always breaking. We need a new one.
Read all about it. Unit 1. Audioscript. Let's be ready for exam listening. Number of questions: 6. You have 5 seconds for each question. Please pause the video if the time is not enough for you. Choosing examples or data which support one side. Presenting an opinion as a fact. Using emotional language to persuade the reader. Leaving out certain stories. leaving out facts or certain information which does not agree with the writer's point of view. Position of the article on the page. The stories at the top of the page are the ones which the editor wants to show as most important. Position of story on the page or website, editor putting it where it will be read first. Leaving out certain information, leaving out facts that do not agree with the author's point of view. Focusing on information, which only supports one side of an argument, presenting something, which is an opinion as a fact.
الجمل التي وردت في Workbook and Longman.
Spin is a type of media bias in which a journalist uses words and phrases to support or oppose a service, or even an idea. The journalist was biased by placement. He had put the story at the top of the page to show it was interesting. When you leave out facts or certain information that doesn't agree with your point of view, this is called bias by omission. The news story about the match missed out the injured player, so there was bias by omission. In his advertisement, he left out the fact that the flat isn't opposite the Nile to make others buy it for a higher price. This is bias by omission.
Thanks for watching.